Hello and welcome to a new lesson on scaling services and implementing load balancing with Docker Compose. In this lesson, we are going to expand on our web application by scaling the web service to handle more traffic. Additionally, we will introduce an Nginx service to act as a load balancer, distributing incoming requests across multiple instances of our web service. This setup will demonstrate the power of Docker Compose in managing service scalability and load balancing. I have copied our Docker Compose file from our previous lesson, but I changed the image here to an image with the name balancing latest, and we will build this image together in this lesson. To build this image, I also used the same Docker file from the previous lesson, and don't worry about any file you see here because all files will be added to our repository. Also, I used the same code from previous lesson, but I did little modification to it to verify our work for this lesson. So I have added the socket module, and also I'm getting the host name for the container, and I save it as the value of the variable container underscore ID. The application does the same stuff. It connected to Redis and it calculates the count, but also we will print a new message to ensure that our load balancer work properly. So besides this page has been visited and the visit count, we will also print a message handled by container. Then we will print the container ID to ensure that Nginx divide the traffic between the replicas. Also, we have the Nginx configuration file. So I created nginx.conf file to enable load balancing. So this configuration sets up Nginx to distribute incoming requests to our web service instances, which helps ensure a fair distribution of load. So before we see together how we will add the Nginx service here to the Docker Compose file, let's build our balancing latest image. So to build an image, I will use docker build, then -t, and I will provide the name. Let's copy the name from here and dot. Now press enter. We didn't get any error message. Let's verify that our image has been created. So I will execute docker images. And as you see from the output, we have our image balancing with the tag latest created 12 seconds ago. Now let's edit our Docker Compose file, and I will add a new service here with the name Nginx. And the image I will use here is Nginx Alpine. Now we want to mount the Nginx configuration file to the Nginx running container. So I will add volumes here, and I will mount the nginx.conf to the container etc nginx/nginx.conf, and I will mount it to be read-only, so I will add RO. I also want to expose port 80, so I will add ports here, and I will map port 80 on my local machine to port 80 inside the container. And this service depends on web service. So this configuration tells Docker Compose to start Nginx, mount our custom configuration file, and listen on port 80 of the host machine. With our Docker Compose.yaml updated, let's scale our web service. So let's run the following command: Docker Compose up --scale web equal 3, then -d. This command scales our web service to 3 instances. Docker Compose starts the additional instances of our web service along with the Redis and Nginx services. Let's press enter. To verify that our services are up and running, we can do Docker Compose ps, and as you can see, all our services with the 3 instances from the web are up and running. To verify that we or the Nginx service will redirect or divide the incoming traffic to the 3 web containers, let's open our web browser and type localhost and press enter. And as you see, the message, this page has been visited one time, handled by container, and it gives you the container ID. So the first request goes to the container ID that ends with FC. Let's refresh the page. So now it's 2 times, and the container ID, as you noticed, has been changed to the ID that end with 93. Let's refresh one more time. And as you can see, now it's 3 times and handled by container ID that end with E0. And by that, we verified that our setup works properly. And I can say, congratulations, you have successfully scaled a service and implemented load balancing using Docker Compose. This knowledge is crucial for deploying resilient and high availability applications. Feel free to experiment further with different configurations and scaling options to deepen your understanding. Thank you for watching and see you in the next lesson.